Most men believe attraction declines with age, but for some men, the opposite happens. They become calmer, more confident, and far more attractive than they were when they were younger. And it usually comes down to 10 subtle behaviors that instantly change how women see them. Number 4 is something younger men almost never understand. Starting with number 10, a shift so simple, most men overlook it completely. In the 10th place, mature men do not rush conversations. Slowing the pace of an interaction can communicate patience, self-possession, and genuine interest to many women. Less confident men often speak too quickly, rushing to fill silent gaps to manage their own social anxiety. Instead, gentlemen, when someone is speaking, try waiting about 3 seconds before you reply. This brief pause allows you to absorb her perspective and answer with real intention. While mastering silence lays a foundation for ease, the way you speak is just as important, especially when offering appreciation, which leads directly to number 9. Number 9, mature men speak with certainty, not volume. While many equate loudness with confidence, speaking in a calm, measured tone actually communicates greater authority. When you lower the physical effort, but maintain clarity, you project emotional control. For example, if someone disagrees with you, stating your opinion plainly without becoming defensive shows true self-possession. Less confident men often try to dominate a room by overpowering others with their voice. Instead, focus on speaking directly and letting the weight of your words do the work. True presence is never forced, which becomes even more obvious when examining how a man handles his own achievements. Number 8, mature men observe before they pursue. This means noticing mutual interest before escalating your attention. Reading reciprocity can reduce pressure, making your attention feel selective rather than needy. For example, pay close attention to her engagement, her questions, and her body language to see if she is truly comfortable. In contrast, less confident men often push forward blindly without reading the room, chasing validation. Gentlemen, your takeaway is to look for active reciprocity before making your next move. Choosing when to act builds intrigue, but how you react to tension reveals even more, which brings us to number 7. Number 7. Mature men are comfortable with silence. Welcoming quiet moments without panic can communicate profound internal ease, which often helps a woman feel calm and emotionally secure in your presence. While anxious men frequently overcompensate by talking too much or asking forced questions to escape discomfort, a grounded man knows how to let a pause exist. For example, during a quiet dinner or a shared walk, you can simply stay settled and relaxed rather than rushing to fill the air. Gentlemen, your takeaway is to embrace these brief pauses instead of fighting them. Resting comfortably in silence shows self-possession, but how you observe her cues before moving forward reveals even deeper maturity, leading us to number 6. 6th place, mature men compliment selectively. Constant flattery can feel like an anxious bid for approval, whereas a targeted observation shows genuine attentiveness. One sincere remark about her character carries far more weight than repeated physical praise. For example, telling a woman, "I enjoy the way you think," or "You have a very calming presence," shows you actually see her. Less confident men often make the mistake of showering someone with generic compliments, turning appreciation into a sales pitch. Gentlemen, your takeaway is to practice giving just one highly specific, truthful compliment a week. Speaking with restraint builds profound trust, which becomes vital when setting personal boundaries. In the 5th place, mature men maintain clear, respectful boundaries. Calm limits communicate deep self-respect without hostility, showing that you value your time. For example, if she suggests a last-minute, late-night plan, you can simply say, "I want to see you, but I need to catch up on sleep tonight. Let's do lunch this Saturday." In contrast, anxious men often over-explain their choices or back down immediately to avoid minor tension. Gentlemen, your takeaway is to state your limits plainly and without apology, while standing firm in your own life builds trust. Taking the lead on shared plans while honoring her choice builds even deeper attraction, leading to number 4. Number 4, mature men are emotionally steady. Under pressure, many women find a partner's emotional regulation highly reassuring, because they do not feel responsible for managing his reactions. For instance, when facing a delayed text or a disagreement, a confident man pauses to gather context before replying. In contrast, less mature men often make the mistake of either exploding in anger or suppressing their feelings entirely, appearing cold. Gentlemen, your takeaway is to practice regulated expression, not suppression. Before replying to a charged message, take a slow breath, assess the situation, and answer with clear intention. Staying grounded under pressure builds profound relational safety. But having a rich purpose, completely outside of your dating life, is what truly prevents needy behavior, leading directly to number 3. Number 3, mature men do not constantly try to impress. Sharing your life without turning every exchange into a status performance shows a secure identity. When you stop performing, many women may perceive you as far more comfortable in your own skin, leaving natural room for real curiosity. Less confident men often make the mistake of over-explaining their achievements to force admiration. Instead, if she asks about your work, state your role simply, then shift the focus back to her. Gentlemen, your takeaway is to state facts plainly and let the conversation breathe. Proving less makes you highly compelling, but how you project comfort without saying a word is just as powerful, leading to number 2. In second place, mature men take initiative without becoming controlling. Taking charge can communicate safety and confidence to many women, but only when it respects her autonomy. For example, instead of leaving plans up in the air, you might suggest, "I know a quiet place that would be perfect for dinner. Does Friday work for you?" This provides clear direction while inviting her collaboration. Less confident men often make the mistake of either collapsing into total indecision, which creates drift, or dictating the entire evening as if they own the process. Gentlemen, your takeaway is to lead with clarity while leaving genuine room for her preferences. While collaborative leadership turns intentions into action, how you carry yourself physically when you meet in person creates the ultimate first impression, leading directly to number 1. And finally, in first place, mature men build a meaningful life completely outside of dating. This behavior involves actively pursuing a life in motion, structured around solid friendships, personal projects, stable routines, and long-term goals. Having a clear identity beyond romance changes how you are perceived because it reduces emotional neediness and projects natural ease. When you do not rely on romantic attention to validate your worth, a relationship becomes a welcome addition to your world rather than your sole source of meaning. For example, consider a man who spends his weekends volunteering in his community, maintaining his physical health, and practicing a dedicated hobby. He is already fully engaged in his own schedule, so he never asks a woman to rescue him from boredom or manage his emotional state. In contrast, less confident men often make the mistake of pausing their personal growth, placing romantic pursuits at the absolute center of their identity, and expecting a partner to supply their sense of worth. Gentlemen, your takeaway is to select one meaningful area of your life, whether it is mentoring, a fitness routine, or a creative pursuit, and commit to it fully, regardless of your relationship status. When you build this foundation, every other positive behavior becomes natural and believable. The most attractive, mature men are never waiting for someone else to arrive before they begin living. That is why some men peak in their 20s. Which of these 10 qualities do you think most men misunderstand? Subscribe for more evidence-based relationship guidance. Across all 10 behaviors, one truth emerges, gentlemen. Mature attraction is never performed, and it is simply projected. When you stop chasing validation and occupy your own space, you become naturally compelling. Which of these 10 qualities do you think most men misunderstand? Subscribe for more insights.